Joining me now is Kurt Weaver, who is the Chief Operations Officer of You Can Play. You Can Play promotes LGBTQS+ inclusion in athletics for all sports and all ages. Kurt, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
This is a complicated story, and I know there's a lot, and I don't want to get too far into it, but I guess it's a major move by a national sporting organization to take this step, saying they will not hold this level of events in Alberta. Give me your reaction to hearing this news and what the organization thinks of it.
It's unfortunate when a sport organization has to take steps like this to communicate to governments that they're overreaching. Skate Canada knows best what the athletes need, want, what policies need to be in place, and we should trust in those administrators that do this very, very well to lead and govern those sports. And it's unfortunate, again, that Skate Canada has to make these kind of statements or pull in events and athletes from areas, no matter where it happens to be.
Mm-hmm. What does this mean for transgender athletes? Just explain, the significance of, again, an organization like Skate Canada making the decision not to have these high-level events in Alberta.
To a trans athlete, it's going to be a huge support, mechanism to then be able to hear a national sport organization is taking this step. Again, athletes want to participate in their sport. They want to thrive in the sport. It's not about necessarily the gender or sexuality of any individual. It's about participating in those sports. And at a time when we are struggling to get kids in and sticking around sport, this is no time for us to be adding new and additional regulations that remove kids from sport. So it's a very interesting, strange challenge that Alberta has put here. And especially, I think they even know this themselves by adding the notwithstanding clause.
Right, and I want to, maybe challenge Premier Daniel Smith a little bit to, at least for now, on that the International Olympic Committee will be following suit on this. They're examining this issue. There's lots as we get into the levels of testosterone, in particular for those participating in female sports. But, what's your take right now? And do you believe the Premier is right on that? Or where do things stand, again, at the international and the IOC level?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the IOC comes out with interesting and potentially restrictive regulations. But I think that's something that has happened in the history of the IOC. They've not always led the way on inclusion of any sort of athlete, be it by race, ethnicity, religion, and otherwise. And so I think leading by what their example might be is not going to be what is best for our kids in Alberta or across Canada or anywhere, really. So I think that's where participation levels should not mirror what the elite levels have. And so if we are potentially going to limit who's going to be participating at a podium level, that's a whole separate issue than who skates on the ice at 12, 14, 16 years old in our local towns and communities.
Mm-hmm. And now Curling Canada says it is not going to follow the lead of Skate Canada. It will keep some of their events in Alberta. What's your reaction to that? Do you believe more sports organizations and national organizations should follow suit, or where do you stand?
If reason and the will of the voters is not being utilized by our government, then it's going to have to be our dollars and our events that are communicating to them what is right. And so it's unfortunate this has to happen. This is not what probably Skate Canada wanted to do today when they got up in the morning, but absolutely it is something we have to do to communicate to the government when it is overreaching, especially within our sports and our sport communities. I would encourage voters to do the same come time at the ballot box.
Kurt Weaver, Chief Operations Officer of You Can Play. Kurt, appreciate your insight on this today. Thank you.
Thank you.